All right, let's call the Health and Human Services Committee meeting to order. If we should start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mike Didio, Aileen McNabb Coleman, and Lydia Patty have been excused, so it's Christina Clarko, myself, Brian Muldrow, and Heidi Nightingale. Can I get a motion to approve the November 9th minutes?
I'll move it.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. There are no appointments tonight, but we do have 8 resolutions on the agenda for tonight. 1 from the Department of Social Services, 4 from Mental Health, 2 from Office of Aging, and 1 from Youth Bureau. If I could start with just getting through the first social services resolution, because I have excused Christine Bianco from the meeting tonight. This is a resolution allowing the Commissioner of Social Services to accept CAPTA, CARA funding and contract with Cayuga Community Health, Mental Health for a part-time behavioral health clinician to be embedded in the child welfare unit. And my understanding is this has been a contract that's been in force since 2018 with our county mental health department. There is a therapist that comes in, consults with the caseworkers, and does joint home visits when indicated. They're going to use this grant funding to support this, and I asked for a motion for HH1.
I'll move it.
Second.
Why did I even come? They beat me to everyone. I've been trying to beat
Let Brian do
Christina.
something.
No.
No.
Last committee meeting, I can't
That's
beat her.
All right. Any questions about this? All in favor?
Aye.
Beats me to the punch.
All right.
Been in for 2 years.
Great. If we could, maybe we could go to Deb and the Youth Bureau resolution. You want to come up, Deb, and anything on your report and present this resolution? Then we have guests here.
Okay. I don't have any, I have my updates here, so if you have any questions on the 3 updates I provided, please let me know. One update I have, I guess, in regards to point 2 is my state aid vouchers have been submitted back to the county, so we have been reimbursed by New York State for the 2023 programs. And the Governor's Youth Council, to follow up with that, that program that's going on, there is going to be a youth leadership forum in Albany in February that hopefully our member will actually be able to attend that. They do a lot of legislative work right there at Albany, and the youth actually get to speak to a lot of the politicians. So that's a really good opportunity for them. I'll have more details on that as it gets closer to that time.
Our representative is Ryan.
Mahmoud. Yep, and he goes to SUNY Albany, so it would be a close fit for him if he's around in February to be able to attend that.
Mhm.
And it is free because there's legislative funding that actually supports that program, so that you can attend at no cost.
Wonderful.
Top Ryan, he's a wonderful kid. Yeah.
That's great.
I have one resolution for tonight, and just to give you a brief background on the reason I'm requesting to use ARPA funding for this. It is for the Moravia Youth Trap Team for upgrades to their trap shooting course. Unfortunately, New York State OCFS will not fund or reimburse us anything that has to do with youth or any type of shooting program in general. So the OCFS funding, that's why that wasn't on the table for this particular ask. When I was approached for the funding from the members of this team, I didn't realize that, and I found out we weren't able to work with them on that. So I did a little digging, and ARPA would be something that we could utilize for that. So that's what my resolution is for, to help them build the materials to put together a certified trap shooting course at their home course in Moravia. They're actually the only team in Cayuga County, which is interesting. Besides Cayuga County, Cayuga Community College has a trap shooting team, but Moravia is the only team in Cayuga County with a school that has trap shooting. So they do a really great job. They participate at a national level. I know with ARPA and some of our funding, we really wanted to kind of spread out to some of the rural areas, and that I think is a good fit because it is a rural area that's outside the city that's benefiting a lot of the youth out there in a growing sport that they have in their community.
And this is one time,
Yeah, but
very appropriate, a one-time ask
yeah,
for
but
the
it's a one-time
upgrades.
ask for the upgrades. The volunteers would be donating the majority of the labor for the program and for the upgrades for this. There are members, the coaches are here tonight if anybody has any questions on the program itself.
I'll make a motion for HH8.
I'll second
Just my only question, you did, go through your youth board advisory.
We didn't have a youth meeting, but I did send the information out to our youth board members, and I did receive feedback from the majority of them that they were in support of this program.
Okay, Heidi, you sat on that board?
Yes.
All right, all right. Okay, any questions that we could get answered?
How many youth are participating in the program?
Currently have about around 10 to 15. We have this fall season and a spring season. So depending on the sports that are going on, we gain kids, lose kids, but we have about 15 currently. We're always growing. And we have 3 girls and the rest are boys. Range from middle schoolers to high schoolers, 7th grade to 12th grade.
Great, thanks.
Excellent.
And one thing that I liked when I looked into the program a little bit, where they do have their events, there is no alcohol allowed. They don't serve alcohol. So that's rare for a lot of these venues that do have alcohol at their clubs. So they don't serve alcohol there. And another thing is they do like a family fun day, like a family information day. So it's a great way to recruit other families and youth to come and check it out and to recruit kids. I know there's a lot of bonding experience that have happened. Not all students, not all youth are athletes, so this gives them a little something else to do that's different, especially in the rural areas where a lot of shooting and things of that nature.
Okay, is 7th grade
Yes, so they have
No
to
one
be,
before
they
7.
have to be 12 years old because
Okay.
they have to take their hunter safety course or it's called a SAFE course through the program that's High School Play Target League. So they have to be 12 years old because that's New York State.
How many other youth would beat Mark Strong?
We definitely have a few contenders. As our program has gone on since 2019, we had a couple seniors last year that would definitely give them a run.
Okay.
When we have our family fun day, we have what we call fun shooting events that we do. And myself and Sean are usually the ones that everybody's gunning for.
Oh, I'm sure. Heidi, did you?
I just got one comment. I know how hard Mark has worked with these people, these youngsters. And he's done a great job and he's dedicated a lot of time and effort to this great cause. And I appreciate it, Mark, very much. And I know the kids do, the young adults do. So you've done a great job with them.
I'm certainly not the one to take, very much of the credit because actually the folks that are behind me are really the working people. I just happen to be the legislator and involved, but Sean is really the driving force. He went to the school superintendent and the school board and, pushed the program. I came along shortly after they agreed to do it, and we've been going full steam ever since. And it's been a very, very successful program. We have a lot of community support. And we've been fairly successful. Our kids have done well. And as Diane pointed out, we do have kids that have gone to the nationals and shot at the national level. And we compete at the state tournament, and we've done team-wise and individual shooter-wise. We've done very, very well. Very successful program in my mind. And the thing that I really stress, and these will back me up, is the safety aspect. I'm kind of like the old drill sergeant out on the line, but safety is paramount. And that's the most important thing. Then we have,
Congratulate the three of you for doing this. And I know you're being humble because I know you've done a lot of work. So
well,
congratulations, all of you.
thank you very much.
Did you have anything, Heidi?
The equipment that to be installed, what is the lifetime of it? Will it extend what you can do for 10 years, 20 years?
100%.
Well, Go
There are
ahead.
trap fields that have, I mean, currently the machine is over 30 years old. So it will extend lifetime, definitely Mark's lifetime.
Definitely Mark's lifetime.
You got me in my grave already.
Dead and gone by the time.
Good one.
You're a great spokesman.
I gotta tell you, obviously, I'll be supporting this, but you being a spokesperson for this is something maybe you should think about expanding in other areas and because you're doing a really good job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're not shy.
But I am, you don't realize that I'm sweating really bad.
You're doing an awesome job.
And because they're the only, from what I understand, because they're the only school that does this in the county, other students are welcome if they have the transportation, they're able to join the club if they want as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Great job, all of you.
Thank you.
Great. So can I get a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Got to go through two more committees and good to go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, if we
Thanks, Deb.
want to get on to the mental health resolutions, none of them seem to be awfully controversial. We'll do the resolutions first, then you can give us whatever you want. If you want to start with HH2, accepting your state aid for the 2024 awards.
Yeah, so this is just a yearly resolution that we do that's renewing all of our contracts for our state aid funding that we receive at the county for mental health services and developmental disability and substance use as well.
I'll move HH2.
Second.
Okay, basically any COLAs, well, we might be looking at this throughout next year, but this
Yeah,
is
but
the
that is-
initial funding that's coming forward.
Yep.
All right, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, HH3.
So this is, our deputy director will be retiring. Her last day of work will be the end, I think, the very beginning of February. And so we will want to replace our deputy director at mental health.
Can I get a motion for that?
I'll move it.
Second.
Any questions?
There just is a typo and edit that
Okay.
we're talking about the last day of work for the retiree is February 2023.
Oh, yep. And
So I just need a correction to 24.
All right,
Good catch.
thank you. See why you teach. All right, all in favor? Aye. HH4 is to award some opioid funds.
yeah, so the Community Services Board has met, and we reviewed a proposal from Cayuga Health Network to pilot a transitional housing program, which will be 6 units, different apartments that will serve people that are homeless that will be coming out of jails, as well as any families. So there'll be some dedicated to people coming out of incarceration and then some dedicated to families. And this will be a 90-day program or a short-term program, while there'll be case management and other intensive services to help them get other types of housing to be more permanent for them. We realize that's a gap and there's a big need for that. So they voted for this to be funded through them. And then, so yeah, so that's for the opioid settlement fund.
And I'll move it for discussion.
Marco second.
So the funds are for case management and
And rent.
And the rent.
really,
Rent and utilities. Well, there's,
wow,
I think the Cayuga Health Network has also talked to the Department of Social Services around this, and the rate would be a lot lower than what it would be half the price that they would be paying
I
for
see.
other housing.
Right.
Plus on top of that, needing staffing, and this staff will be checking in with them daily, and being able to offer any other services, including SPOA applications or other services, case management, and other things that they need in order to, or jobs to get more permanent housing for them as well.
Wow. So we'll just trust that the Cayuga Home Community Health Network will have the ability to get apartments. I mean, it's
So they've already-
it's difficult.
They've already done that work. They talked to a landlord that owns quite a bit of properties, and he has already identified the apartments. That's why I wanted to make sure we got it in this month, because they really do want to start this program as soon as they possibly can, because the landlord's sort of hanging on to those
That's
apartments for
great.
them.
That's great. I knew that would be a pickle to get
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
So they're paying the rent?
Probably the P.
Part of the rent,
The public
utilities,
assistance
yeah.
grant will pay part of it and they'll subsidize whatever and do the case management,
And obviously,
right?
like, they need to furnish the apartments and stuff as an initial cost, and then we'll review it. If we want to continue the funding for another, in the future, we will look at that and see what that budget and also see what the need is too. Like, is there a need to expand that or keep it at the 6 units that we're starting off with? So we'll be evaluating as we go through the year.
When we were at the Community Services Board, the Cayuga Counseling had a similar program that everyone was so excited about, especially the sheriff, because he has people coming out of jail who kind of are in a fragile state, and they go to the 3rd floor and they go to the hotel. And there's poor supervision and some drug, I mean, it was just an awful thing. So he was really looking forward to having a place to discharge someone to housing.
Mhm.
So
And
this will help take people out of that stream of going into that homelessness where then they
Yeah.
need to go
To the
and get
hotel or-
housed
yeah.
differently.
Yeah, I think we would look at people coming out of treatment too, as well as incarceration. So that's a really high need time, and they're very vulnerable. So to be able to put them in more stable housing with some supervision and check-ins and, getting them prepared for more permanent housing is what we.
from a landlord's point of view, the landlord is actually doing business with the network and not individuals.
Yeah, so the lease will be held by them.
Great. Okay,
Before, one thing, Lauren, before this goes to, and I think I'm a supporter of this, I am. But before those other committees, can you and I talk offline, or will you give me a call?
Yeah.
I just want to truly dive in and really understand it.
Yep.
Okay,
100%.
okay. So for tonight, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
well,
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we did.
just want to
We did.
Oh,
pass something, pass it, it's one. It's always been 2 years, he's always beat me to the punch.
okay. So now we are on, HH5 is your,
So this is the regional
Pass through.
state aid that comes through us, but it is for the region. As far as state aid, it pays, like our mobile crisis contract is a regional contract, and we pay through that. So this is just another yearly resolution that we do to accept the regional state aid money.
Black hole move HH5.
Second.
and at one point it was $70,000. It's whatever it is now. I
It's
mean,
more than that, for sure.
It's more than
It's
that.
significantly more than that we get now.
Okay, and basically Cayuga County through Ray had offered to
Manage the financial. part of
manage
it,
the
yeah.
money coming to the various regions.
Yep.
And that's all this is.
That's all that it is. And then we write the contracts for it, but it's done regionally with the DCSs from 5 different counties.
Okay. Questions are all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so I just have a couple updates. We currently have 3 positions open for social workers, at the clinic. 2, because we just received that SAMHSA grant. We really haven't had any bites on any resumes that we received. We just received 1 now, so we do have an interview set up next week, but that is kind of concerning because we really do want to fill those positions so that, when we're still going to move forward, moving people out to the school districts for the grant, but we really want to be careful about the caseloads of the other therapists. And we really want to be able to hire people to kind of backfill some of those cases. I think right now the average caseload is somewhere between 70 and 100 that each therapist has. We really would like it to be around 80 for every therapist at the most. So we really want to make sure we hire those people, additional therapists to be able to take over those cases.
You wouldn't have much luck contracting anyone for
It was hard to find contract workers too. The 2 contract workers we have were people that retired and came back. So that was the only reason why I think we were able to fill those. So I don't know. I know it's a problem of literally across the entire state and probably even further than that, but I'd just like to mention it because we are currently looking for social workers. So
And those particular social workers are gonna be the in the schools.
well, we've identified 4 existing therapists that were interested in doing that work, so they will be spending some time in the clinic and then some time in the school districts. But to be able to fill that time in the clinic, we need to fill those positions to do that with the cases. And I mean, each year we see a growth in cases and our census goes up every single year, so we want to make sure that we have the therapists to be able to see those. And we don't have any wait list for any services, so. And then the only other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if you saw in the newspaper, Monica did an article. We have a Narcan vending machine in our vestibule. Right when you walk in our door, there's a vending machine to the right-hand side. It doesn't just have Narcan though. It has Narcan, test strips, medication disposal bags, and I think there's also some COVID tests in there too now. So for anybody who doesn't, no questions asked, if they don't feel comfortable talking to the therapist or talking, getting it from somewhere else in the county, they can go right to that vending machine and get an Narcan. There's a QR code on there that they can take a picture with their phone and it will bring them right to the training video. It's just a few minutes long. It's pretty simple to use Narcan, so it teaches them how to do that right there. We've had a significant amount of Narcan actually taken since it's only been there for a very short amount of time, but we've had quite a significant amount of Narcan taken from that.
And so they don't pay for it.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah.
100% free of charge. We're an OOPS, so we're registered with the state. We get Narcan. We can order it as much as we need or want, and so we've been just making sure that that's stocked and filled for people to be able to get that.
Can I ask what that acronym means that you just used?
Opioid. Oh, I can't even remember.
Okay, that's all
I
right.
can't
No worries. I
remember.
was just curious.
But it's just it's an acronym. You're registered with this. Do you know what it is? Opioid.
I'm trying to
I
think
can't
of
even.
It's okay, really.
It's gonna bother me though. But yeah, it's basically you're registered with the state as you can order Narcan through them free of charge and distribute it to whoever.
Gotcha.
That's where we get all the Narcan for all the red boxes in the county.
So the
any of
county's
Narcan
not paying
events.
for this.
Not a single, no.
How are the tap strips being utilized?
The people are taking those as well. We also have them, we have them everywhere. We have them at our front desk. People can take them. Those you can also order free of charge, so we don't have to pay for any of that. So.
Thank you.
Just another option for people that don't feel comfortable asking for it, or even if it's a family member and they can know that just go right in there and grab it whenever. So just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, that's a great article.
Thank you.
Good move.
Yes, thank you.
Great.
That's all I have.
All right. You want any resolutions up? You'd like to say something and leave?
I thought you.
Oh, I was like, oh, do you want to do it now? Okay.
You want me to go first?
Why not? All right, sure.
Brenda Scott.
And you gotta leave.
Heavier
remember?
duty
Then you
stuff.
gotta leave.
Yeah.
And I'm kicked out. Yes, so happy holidays. I brought no resolutions. So it's my gift to all of you. Yes. But I'll make up for it in January, have no fear. Just really an update. We've got, still our vacancies that we'll be bringing resolutions in January. Director of Community Health Services and our public health educator. We are also anticipating some retirements. So there'll be more positions to fill as time goes on. We had an all department meeting today, which we try to do every quarter. And our division directors and other staff talk about different things going on in their programs. It's a nice way for everyone to get an appreciation for the different functions done. I'm sorry that Lydia is not here today because I really wanted to compliment her because she really helped us quite a bit with our Healthy Neighborhoods program. She promoted it a lot in Mentz and Port Byron area. We've seen market growth. And since April of this grant year for Healthy Neighborhoods, which serves Port Byron, Mentz, and the city of Auburn, we've visited 200 households and served more than 500 people within those households, which is great. And we're only partway through the year. We'll talk about more statistics when we put a statistical report together, hopefully in the first quarter of the new year. I shared with many of you the place-based annual report. it's a great organization, as most of you are familiar with it, but it was a great highlight of the work we're doing through early intervention. So I encourage anyone who hasn't seen it to pick up a copy. It shows the collaborative and working with our partners, but it also identifies a number of other partners within the community that the organization works with. So it's very family-centered, a great place for young children.
Elaine and I often meet up there.
Yeah, it's great.
With our grands.
It's a great place. Yeah, it's so much
There's
fun.
actually a therapist working with individual children through play.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
but so as one of our grant programs through the county is the children with special health care needs. And with some funding we have through that, we subcontract to Play Space. We help identify a therapist who can come in, and maybe it's an occupational therapist, right, who then will speak to families about how you can engage and work with your children to enhance their skill sets and work at their level. For primarily focused on children, the under age 6, age group. But it's really helpful because we have waiting lists for therapists, right, to serve our children. So this is one way that we can engage families who might not be receiving one-to-one services or formal group services, or just anyone who would like to understand a little bit more about development, things that can be early childhood development and things they can do with their children. And that's something that's, I think, unique about the Play Space is that they don't hire staff to clean the toys. They hire play facilitators to help families learn how to play with their children and what a learning experience play can be. So it's really great. It highlights a number of programs there. It's not just early intervention stuff that we do. And then one more classic public health comment to make. Yesterday, the state health commissioner did declare flu as prevalent throughout New York State. So what that means, we've seen over a 50% increase in diagnosed flu cases in the past week. So that's why he identified flu now as prevalent, which means if you have not had your flu shot and you work in a regulated facility, you have to wear a mask when you are around patients and in the clinic areas. Brian?
I just got a question. What's the age group that's the Play Space specializes? What's the age?
Primarily 6 and under. Like you can go with your infant who doesn't crawl yet, right? And there's some baby things that you can learn to work with.
6 and under?
Primarily, you can really go up to age 8 but because you often have siblings, but it's really geared toward 6 and under. So families.
There's like sections
you probably got this.
where infants are and like, like toddlers and 6-year-olds. Okay.
Yes, and of course that can cross over because you got a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old sibling, they want to do what the 5-year-old's doing, right? So you really can go in all the spaces. The infant space, they do try to keep more particular to those infants. But because their adults are with them, it can be wherever. And there's sensory tables and there's art things and there's birthday parties. Kids love having their birthday parties there. And they're going to be opening in the springtime an outdoor play area also.
Yes, I think we gave 10,000.
Yeah.
The county contributed $10,000 towards that outdoor play.
Yeah, it's really, it's exciting how they've really been in the community and made such a positive impact.
Brian, you better go.
Yeah.
It's worth just taking a look, right? I don't have children. that age group,
I've
and
been
it's
in there
wonderful.
for a tour, but I don't, there were no children there. I think that we just came in to see it, maybe there was, but I can't remember. I just wanted to get it, the age group, and that wasn't for legislation, because I got little nieces
Sure.
and I wanted to ask my own personal stuff, so.
Yeah, we can certainly show you around. I think they'll probably do a ribbon cutting when they open up the outdoor play space too. That'll be another opportunity.
Well utilized.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's hard to get a person on a school vacation.
Oh, I bet.
Elaine,
That's all I have to.
Elaine, I
Thank
got a
you.
question. I know a lot of people are getting COVID again. Do you have statistics at all? Or-
I don't have statistics with me. We do, you can talk anecdotally for people right? And I'm sure our Human Resources Division has a sense of what's happening with our county employees. I can take a look though and see what diagnosed cases are and give you an idea of where we're at.
If
with
you could,
numbers
I
for
think
that.
it'd be interesting at that time of year.
Yeah, and definitely we're starting to see the respiratory illnesses
Right.
take a jump.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kat.
Brenda? Why don't you go over both HH6 and HH7 and then we'll get a motion for both of them. Here it is.
Which one's first? That's all.
HH6 is the contracts.
Contracts, okay, thank you. So this is just our routine contracts. We have a federal year of funding that we do contracts for, and then I usually come back in March and I have a state list of contracts for state funding that we do. There's some overlap. These are the new prices for 2024. So really all it is, same.
Well, why don't we do, I have a question on this.
I'll move HH5 then, or I'm sorry, HH6.
I guess I can.
Is Trio the new meal person?
Is, and so the prior resolution actually authorized us to do the contract with them. I kind of threw it in here just as a backup. It's a duplicate.
Okay,
It'll help us make sure that it's on the next year's,
all right,
right?
gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm unclear, did you need a staging location?
Sure, yeah.
Where is that?
So we did a phone contact with the Trio
Uh-huh,
about 10 days ago. And then we did another follow-up call with their kitchen. We visited the mall,
okay,
visited Prison City offered us a spot on North Street. Trio had suggested Gavris. We went to visit Gavris on Monday. And the spot they had originally thought on North Street really wasn't gonna work for us, but then they took us out to the spot on Cranebrook Drive. They have a Gavris Center there and they're not using some of the space. And so that's,
it's like on the arterial?
it is right next to
Okay.
the Kessler Masonry. and
Yes.
Yeah, it's a, North Street's, I was a little concerned about our volunteers pulling in and out every day. Out there, there's not that concern. There's plenty of parking. There's not a lot of going on. It's a beautiful entrance right through the back. We can roll
Great.
things in and out. Dedicated room. We can keep our stuff in. We've never had that. Out at Loretto, we used a atrium entranceway that we heated with a plug-in heater, and then we had to remove all our things every single day. Where this
Wow.
place, we can do it, we can lock it.
Is the community service all free and?
Trio's paying whatever they need to, they're making those arrangements, so we don't have to.
Okay,
Yep.
all right,
Have the
wonderful.
ability to set up a desk in there. I mean, it's just,
Yep.
beautiful, beautiful. And their day hab participants are there potentially at the time our volunteers come in. There's a tiny bit of overlap, but they are also looking forward to maybe being able to help us out a little bit with some of the packing or some
Great.
of the prep work, so. it's
Oh,
really
that's
good.
great. Yep. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor for HH6? Aye. And lastly,
And then the other one is just, I was getting a jump on the new year. I don't, we're still interviewing. We interviewed somebody on Monday for this position and I didn't want it to lapse. And any reason why we couldn't move ahead as soon as we found the right person for the position. So this is at least the second update of it, but being the end of the year, time to do that.
oh, so this is just to make sure you don't run out of the 6-month period.
The off, yep.
Clark, I'll move HH7.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye, great, great,
And before we adjourn,
yes.
this is Councilwoman, that's why I was
An update on-
razzing her.
Oh, last
And I'm
18.
sitting there having a ball laughing and nobody caught on. And
Mhm.
last thing,
It's my last committee meeting.
meeting me, so.
I initially thought it was her last Thursday. She couldn't.
Next week.
Last Thursday will be next, yes. She did say, maybe you were out of the room, how much she would miss this. I don't know if we believed you totally, but.
I have learned so much from everybody in this room, but all the different perspectives and just understanding, like you said earlier, understanding how the county really works and all the layers and levels and things that are done. Like, I'm really, really thankful for this experience and everything everybody shared with me. So thank you to all for that.
Yes, thank you.
For having contact.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. That's
We'll
right.
get a chance next Thursday to say a few things.
Okay.
I've got something special.
Nice.
So, thanks.
Before I sit down
Yeah.
too, I just want to thank Dave and Shireen and Elaine and Kathleen, Gary, everybody that helped us. If you hadn't heard, the Boyle Center apartment that happened Friday afternoon was directly above our office. So the smoke poured into our office, the sprinkler went off. So we had a lot of water in both our second floor office space. The front, if you drive by there at night, it's lit up, you can see it's a mess. And then downstairs, we also had water. But I got a lot of input from a lot of folks who, Elaine, you just happened to be on speed dial, you got the first call. She got a hold of
Being
Dave.
kind of, what I basically did is said, find Dave and tell him to call her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And John, I have to say, John Shefchick, if any of you know him, he's the superintendent over there at Boyle. He has been in touch with me every day, all through the weekend and everything to determine whether our staff could work in the space. They did a lot of cleanup. There was a lot more water damage than they thought. Dave was over there. He heard the blowers and air scrubbers and ionizers, everything they got going. It's like being next to a jet plane, trying to work in there. Our staff have made it work. They're in and out and they're doing what they need to do. The services haven't stopped. And I just wanted to thank everybody for their support throughout that. We'll go from there.
Well, thank you. And we're just glad nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you're not displaced any longer, you're just working through the chaos? Or,
We're rotating in and out of the space that's
Okay.
not impacted.
okay, all right.
Yeah, I can't imagine working around with blowers.
3 inches of water.
It's very loud. It's very, yeah, the smoke smell is mostly gone. but-
Listen, I feel bad, okay? It sounds like this. Yeah, here she is, the smoke smell's barely gone, I'm underwater, everything's fine.
Yeah.
Perfect working environment.
No, I wondered
She's
if
so
there,
positive
I know,
about it, she's just
true.
almost gone.
We did, I wanted
The
to,
motor.
that's why I was emphasizing Monday, we did a job interview, we visited a meal site, we got 350 meals out, like.
Wow.
I just like that, as long as thanks are going around, you did an outstanding job as department. head. You really did.
Thank you, guys.
The main reason you cared is your employees. That's great.
Yeah, and they're.
That's what a leader does.
A great group, I'll share
Congratulations.
that, yeah, I'll share that, thank you.
Thank you.
all right, Elaine. Yes.
I forgot one thing. Can I just say
Sure.
something real quick? So, just part of our compliance plan is to update you guys on if there's any billing errors or documentation errors. And
Uh-huh.
I forgot to bring this up, but I don't want to wait another month to let you know.
Sure.
So, as part of the process, we did identify that we had an overpayment to Medicaid managed care in the amount of $2,878 that was then repaid back to Medicaid. So as part of their compliance plan is to update the committee on that, and the committee chair. So Dave was aware of that. We talked about that with Shereen as well.
So we'll take the 2,000 payment back.
Yes, we
Yes.
paid them back.
Through your audit. That's the purpose of why you do the audits.
Yep,
The fun
correct.
stuff. Yep.
Correct. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Thanks, Lynn.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you want to say motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
All right.
Brian, she beat you again.
It's her last meeting.
Very good.